Presentation of TFNN. The Trader's Edge with Steve Rhodes. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648 or internationally at 727-873-7618. The Trader's Edge. Now, Steve Rhodes.
Good afternoon, folks. Welcome to the September 2nd, the terrific Thursday edition of today's Trader's Edge Show. I'm your host, Stevie Perseverance Rhodes, who absolutely knows that each of us should always be pioneers of our future versus prisoners of our past. Hope everyone out there is having a great day. Hey, let's make sure we have an extraordinary one. And the easiest way to do that is to always remember that life is happening for us, not to us. That's right. When you and I make that one little 2x4 shift, well, it means we can find a gift in every set of circumstance that life is going to toss at us. Now, today, you and I, we're going to go check on the circumstance of these markets. We'll go figure out what those bulls and bears, what those buyers and sellers are communicating to you and I just past 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I want you to know I'm absolutely grateful for your presence here. But more important than that, and that's this. During this next 60 minutes, I'm here to serve you. So feel free to pick up that phone. You can dial on in 877-927-6648. If you can't dial in, hey, we've got you covered there too. You can always send me an email. Send it to steve@tfnn.com. Please send it early. Never know how long an internet service provider is going to take to shoot your email off to me, so send it early. And in the subject heading, if you put a radio show question, that would be great. Of course, in our Tiger's Den, any ping will do. So let's go ahead and get this show started on terrific Thursday. Of course, this is Tiger Financial News Network. I'm Steve Rhodes. Welcome to the show. Right now, all the U.S. indices pointed north. Everything is green, meaning green. Dow's up 150, S&P 15, NASDAQ 112, Russell's up 19, Semi's up 13, Tranny's 158, New York Stock Exchange Composite and the Wilshire 5000 all trading higher. Spot Volatility is off 2 pennies. It's down below its 50-day exponential moving average. It's always bullish for the S&P 500. Gold's off $5. Silver down 32 cents. Light Sweet crude up $1.61. She's trading at 70.20. The dollar, lead the charge dollar-wise. The upside, you got Credit Acceptance Corp, the old GMAC up $66. Mercado Libre up 55. Shopify 37. Booking Holdings 24. Spotify up 7% or $17. To the downside, it is 5 below. It's down 12% or $25. Google is off 25 as well, but that's less than 1%. Restoration Hardware also off 25. That's 3 6/10%. Viva Systems is down 21. That's down 6.5%. I think we looked at that yesterday, so I think they had earnings and is traded lower. Autodesk down $15. So let's do this here. Yesterday there was one email came in kind of late. Well, it did come in late. Didn't see it till after the show. It was Mark who was asking about ticker symbol ENB. That is Enbridge Capital. So as we take a look at it, just want to get this knocked out of the way. We can see that price closed above yesterday, the top of its bearish structured daily profile. Today looks like 2 consecutive closes. So ordinarily we'd say price is going to move higher. In fact, that's what we would say. However, we then go over to the weekly profile, and we can see that the first battleground is where price is at. And that's at the 39.77 level. Now, I'm not saying to sell. This is a bearish structured weekly profile. But if you're asking, Mark, where is resistance? I know you were asking yourself, should you sell? I don't know where you're in, what your investment or trade objectives are. The daily chart here looks bullish. The weekly chart says, okay, I'm just where buyers and sellers are at. That's the point of control, or the center of the box. That's a 39.77. If price can clear that, it makes a move up to the 40, 58, 41, 13 level. So that's what the profile charts communicate to us. As we look at the white background charts and we seek out some other patterns, we're going to see that today is going to become bar number 9 of a TD9 count. Below TD9 breakdown resistance, which is at 40.29. That says, much like the market is set up, a TD9 count top should form between today and tomorrow. Now, that may just set up a pullback back to support. In this case here, support would be around the 39.17 level. We just never know. So we look at a longer-term time frame chart, look for an additional signal. On the longer term, or the weekly chart, do we have any kind of signals? Well, it turns out that several months ago, let's not just use several months. Let's go ahead and give you the exact week. This is the week that ended June 18th. June 18th generated a couple of different patterns. Wave number 7, that's letter G, a Rhodes momentum indicator signal. And now price is just consolidated with inside the weekly profile. But you can see how that oscillator and change line at 40.20 has acted as resistance. So you have a good old-fashioned consolidation. Do I have a real reason to tell you to sell? No, but if you are the type of trader, maybe this was a short-term trade, and you're like, hey, are we close to a potential top? What I can share with you is the last time that this made a significant bottom. This was back on the trading day of July 20th. It was with bar number 9, and probably at that was just below, or just above, I should say, a TD9 breakout level of 37.04. And many people at that stage might have thought that this ENB was a toast. Turns out that was not the case. So you got a TD9 count that you can see that's, and in fact, there's a TD9 count top out here on June 16th. So it certainly respects these counts. So that's really all that I can share with you. Mark, thanks for waiting an extra day for that, and thanks for writing in. No other questions at the moment, so let's go take a look at the general markets. As we look at the general markets, let's begin by taking a look at our, let's begin by taking a look at our TAS daily equity futures contracts. The reason is because yesterday we had pointed out that there was a new profile that was attempting to form. I can now confirm for you that, in fact, that did form, and that formed below price. That is a bullish signal. That bullish signal suggests a run up to resistance. Where are the sellers? They're at 23.22. Price today has gotten up to 23.10. And today is going to become bar number 9 of a TD9 count. Now, the Russell itself already has a topping signal. That was back at its all-time high. That took place not on March 15th, but the following day when that bearish reversal candle formed. Since then, we've been in a sideways consolidation, quite a large consolidation. So the profile formed, bar number 9. Odds favor, tomorrow. I don't know if the day before, on a Friday before a Labor Day holiday, as we come into the weakest month of the year, what percentage of the time those are up versus down. But at this stage here, the way that everything is trading, we've got these topping signals, but they can go on to the bar following bar number 9. And it looks like that's what the Russell 2000 wants to do, is make its way to 23.22. Inside the ES Mini, if it's topping, if its TD9 count fails to spot a top, then price will go target the 4,600 level. And in the case of the NQ yesterday generated bar 8 of a TD9 count, so it's going to go ahead and generate a TD9 count as well. If that fails, which means a price close above the high, whatever the highest high is between yesterday and tomorrow, those are the highs that you want to be looking at inside the ES, the NQ, and the Russell 2000. The reason that you want to look at those is because if on Tuesday, or certainly Sunday night, equity futures will trade likely. So I guess the mic is cutting out, and I'm not sure why. And my apology for that. I'll just have to reconnect here in about 15 seconds, and hopefully we can clear that up. So I'm back now. That's great. And don't know what you missed out there. So we'll just have to kind of leave it like that. And hopefully during the show I'll be able to cover it. But it does look like the Russell 2000 will go target that 23.22 level. So stay tuned, folks. We're going to go ahead and see if we can get this mic thing all straight down. Steve Rhodes with TFNN. Okay.
Steve Rhodes started his trading career as a student almost 20 years ago, and the student has now become the master. Steve won the prestigious Timer of the Year award in 2018 and barely missed that mark again in 2019, finishing at number 2 for the year. An amazing accomplishment. Steve Rhodes is committed to sharing his techniques and knowledge with anyone who wants to learn, and he shares his vast amount of trading knowledge every day in his Mastering Probability newsletter. Steve's award-winning newsletter, Mastering Probability, is delivered every trading day with updates throughout the afternoon. Sign up for Steve's market newsletter, Mastering Probability, and you'll receive access to 7 of Steve's educational webinars absolutely free. At TFNN, all our newsletters come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have absolutely nothing to worry about. Visit TFNN.com and try Mastering Probability 30 days risk-free today. TFNN, educating investors.
What's separating you from the most successful men and women on Wall Street? That's right, information. Having all the information gives us the perspective we need to place the right trades at the right time. The TAS Profile Scanner is the premier market profile-based scanner. Powered by its acclaimed TAS proprietary algorithms, this feature-rich scanner instantly filters over 2,500 plus global financial markets, such as stocks, ETFs, commodities, futures, and Forex. This powerful suite of tools leverages instant trade filtering and strategy formulation to show you emerging trades before they happen. For a limited time, you can save $100 off your first month by using the promo code UPGRADE, and you still get a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. Level the playing field with the TAS Profile Scanner, which you can find under the Services tab at TFNN.com. Sign up today.
Sharpening your skills as an investor is like getting better at playing a musical instrument. You have to practice, sure, but you also need excellent instruction from experts. At TFNN, you'll get advice and guidance from the authority in technical market analysis. And it's not just dry, tedious text either. TFNN airs live financial content streamed live on TFNN.com and TFNN's YouTube channel with Tiger TV, live every market day from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern, for free. Each host is an experienced trader and gives their take on the market while taking calls and questions live from around the world. From the moment the market opens until the closing bell sounds, Tiger TV has 8 different shows with expert hosts to help you make the right moves with your money. Watch online at TFNN.com or on TFNN's YouTube channel and become the investor you were born to be. TFNN, educating investors.
Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-873-7618.
Welcome back, folks. Hopefully we fixed that sound problem. We did use the duct tape. You got to use duct tape to fix just about everything. Duct tape or Windex. Those are the two most basic requirements in every household. So let's go take a look at a question that has come in. The only question that we've got right now. This is via email, so thank you for that. This is coming from Jim. Jim writes in and says, I'm considering buying some in-the-money November puts for HYG here. Could you please take a look at the daily and the weekly charts out there? Absolutely. So as we take a look at HYG, that is the high-yield corporate bond ETF fund. What we're looking for here, I suppose, well, one of the things we'd be looking for is a topping signal. But first, we're going to look and take a look at where price is trading in relationship to its profile. So, Jim, to the upside, there are several battles. The first battle, today there's a brand new bearish structure daily profile. Now, the interesting thing here is this profile formed above the prior profile, which is bullish longer term, but short term, it may be bearish. Now, this is a wide profile. You don't usually get it this wide. And when I say wide, and this is a firm profile, by the way, 8803. Well, first, 8803 is your daily resistance. 8810 is your weekly. And 8853 is your monthly. So we know where the sellers are. And so price is going to try to take them on. Here's the way that I would interpret this chart. Because of this bearish, you don't see the chart. Son of a gun, Steve-O. Hello, thank you, Mr. Bill. Always, Mr. Bill is the greatest wingman. In fact, if we ever do a movie, a Top Gun movie, although we'd have to call it something else. Obviously, we can't call it Top Gun, right? We got to call it Top something or other out there. But you are the wingman. You are it. So here is the charts. That's going to make it a little bit easier for Jim and everybody else to take a look at. And so you can see that bearish structured profile that is formed. Typically, Jim or anybody else that's out there listening, when price closes below the center of a bearish structured profile, price will typically go down and then test the support level at 87.48. Take a look at the there was a bullish structure daily profile that had formed before the one yesterday inside of the Russell 2000. And we can see that once price held support, price got up to test that resistance level. It's just kind of the way that's actually wasn't the one that I was looking for. I was looking for a bullish structured profile. Well, with the ES Mini is an example here. Here's a bullish structured profile. There's your level. And I remember this trading day back here on August 26th. Everybody thought it was curtains out there. And I'm like, it can't be curtains. Price is pulling back into a level of support. If that level fails, 44.52 at the time to 44.67, then we have something else to talk about. Well, the same thing can be applied here to HYG. If price closes above 88.03, really now because we know it's 88.53 because there's sellers lined up at each of these different levels out there, then that tells us about a strong move to the upside. So I see the play. Now let me pull over the other charts here for HYG, Jim, and just see if there's any kind of topping pattern or what other information we might have available to us. So we don't have a TD9 count. We have prior highs, so we certainly have a consolidation. You can see that consolidation up at the high, basically 2 days ago, and at the lows in the 87 area. So this is a large consolidation. The other thing that we notice is that the oscillator and change line on a daily basis changed colors about 5 trading days ago. You don't have Steve's charts? Boy, I hope everybody has my charts. Did I really do this? I just went through this whole thing and no charts are in the Tiger's Den? Turn on Tiger TV, folks. I don't know what's going on. They should be. Least. So if we take a look at HYG here, you can notice that the oscillator and change colors. And what that typically sets up is a test of that line and price. So now it doesn't tell us, Jim, whether the line's going to move higher or price moves sideways, a combination of moving lower. But 87.77 right now, as of 122, becomes the price target. So you could see a pullback. What I don't want you to do is get too caught up into the idea that price to automatically get down to the 87.48. The level of support to be watching is this 87.77 area. But that's a lot of time I spent on the daily. What about the weekly chart out here? The weekly chart doesn't really provide us with a ton of information other than the resistance level that you and I already discussed. So, Jim, thanks so much for writing in. Have a great holiday. Well, by the way, I didn't mention this earlier. I did not mention this earlier, but I should mention it now, and that is that tomorrow we have a special. That special is Stevie's going to record the show between 8 and 9 Eastern time out here. So get up early, or if you're on the East Coast, you'll probably already be up anyways. Join us. Now, the show will be replayed from 1 to 2 as normal, and I'll certainly try to make the 8 to 9 a.m. hour pertinent for the day out there. So please join us live for that. No other questions in the queue at the moment, and I don't think there was anything inside the Tiger's Den. Those charts are posted now, so I hope all that helps everybody out. So what do we want to go take a look at out here? Well, let's take a look at the following. Let me get to my daily equity futures charts. So I'll get those up on the screen. We have to just change screens for you to see them as well, and we should have that up here in just a moment. Now, in the upper left-hand side, you've got the ES Mini. And you can see it stretch. It's got those Rhodes Momentum Indicator signals that are present. But what we also have out here is today made a higher high above Tuesday's high. What does that mean? That means as long as price closes above, let me give you the price level, as long as price today closes above 45.0750, we'll have a good old-fashioned TD9 count top. Now, a higher high can take place tomorrow, the bar following bar number 9. So I don't know whether it's today's high or it's tomorrow's high. We'll have to, obviously, we'll have some information at between 8 and 9 tomorrow when we're taking a look at it. But it's really going to be an end-of-day thing. So the topping pattern, the TD9 topping pattern that is, really may not occur until tomorrow. If price closes below the oscillator and change line, that's currently printing at about 45.24. That will be your signal that at least a short-term top is in. What does that mean? That means that price would then target the top of its daily profile. Remember, we looked at profiles. Price was trading above the top. That would then become the next level of support. That is 44.98. If price moves below that, then we're back into that bullish structured level that we took a look at a few moments ago. So that would be between 44.52 and 44.67. So the ES Mini is in prime time, ready to roll to the downside. Will it? Well, we don't know. But the first clue would be closing below that green oscillator and change line. Why? Great question. Nothing more bullish than a rising price oscillator above zero, and that is its message. Same message inside the NQ. Now, the NQ formed bar number 8 yesterday, so it doesn't have to make a higher high today or tomorrow. But if it does, that's the high, that's the threshold level that you would be watching. What do you mean watching? Watching for how it trades Sunday, watching for how it trades Monday as well. Because if there's closes above these TD9 counts, granted they still may have Rhodes momentum indicator signals, which would require a bearish reversal candle. But the TD9 counts will have failed and suggest a strong momentum move to the upside. And that could be signaling that the markets move higher into October. We don't have that signal just yet. We've got both sides. At least we have both sides figured out with regard to the way the market would communicate to us. Now, we haven't spent much time on the Dow or the Russell 2000. That's because we have a sell the D point in the Dow, so that pattern's already established. The Russell 2000 also going to form a TD9 count, but its actual topping signal takes us way back into the March timeframe, which was a Rhodes momentum indicator top. But nonetheless, you've got the Russell 2000, the ES Mini, the NQ, see if I can get this back here, each with TD9 count patterns here that suggest a top could or should form between today and tomorrow. At this stage here, we have to call it not today because we haven't seen, I take that back, we haven't seen up until this very moment the potential break of a key level of support. Stevie-san, we'll be back with you in just a few.
Are you having fun trading the markets but having trouble finding like-minded individuals to discuss your trading and investment ideas with? Become an apex predator in the trading markets and join the Tiger's Den Trading Room only at TFNN.com. The Tiger's Den is an exclusive trading room where successful traders from around the world come to exchange trades and ideas. Join the den and surround yourself with the sharpest minds in the trading world. Subscribers to the Tiger's Den are also the first to have their questions answered live on air and can privately chat with our TFNN hosts live during their shows. Interact with other Tigers and Tigresses as they share trading ideas, news analysis, and discuss the market action all trading day. Subscribe to the Tiger's Den risk-free with our 30-day money-back guarantee and become part of the TFNN trading community. TFNN, educating investors.
You could be making money off the stock market. And if you're already making money off the stock market, you could be making a lot more. Check out TFNN and Tiger TV and get expert investing advice to give you the power to control your financial future. Go to TFNN.com and find the newsletter for you. Whether you're into trading gold, metals, futures, currencies, or options, you'll get advice and analysis to help you seriously get ahead. TFNN also features trading services with a 30-day money-back guarantee for new subscribers, as well as TFNN's Tiger Den Trading Room, trading software, and educational webinars for all trading levels. And make sure you check out Tiger TV for free on TFNN.com or TFNN's YouTube channel for live financial content from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern on market days. Stop watching on the sidelines while other people get rich and become the investor you were born to be. TFNN, educating investors.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartleys, ABCs, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charted software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
This segment is brought to you by Thinkorswim. For more information, just click the Thinkorswim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Welcome back, folks. Let's go out to Brent in Martinez, California. Hey, Brent, thanks for calling. Thanks for holding. How are you today?
I'm doing quite well, Steve. How are you?
Excellent. I know you want to take a look at the gold contract, and I don't know if you were listening, but we're going to record tomorrow's show between 8 and 9 in case you want to join us at 5 in the morning, your time.
I will. I am honestly up at that time often. It sounds a little crazy, but I usually am.
Yeah, okay. That's great. That's great. Hey, I'm an early bird. That was from being a kid and having 2 paper routes, and the one that started before school, the Detroit Free Press. So that was quite a trip. In any event, you want to take a look at Goldilocks. Tell us what you're looking at and how I can best help you.
You started to touch on it at the top of the hour, update. But yes. I just wanted, if you could expand on that a bit and just get your thoughts in general, what you're thinking, where we're at, what you think might happen in the future with it.
Okay, so excellent question. So the first thing, and I don't have the ability to post it right now, so we just simply have to you have to trust me here. I've shown it in the past, and that is this. And if we take a look at, I don't remember how many years, the last 20, 30 years, something like that in gold. If we take a look at the chances of gold finishing above the close of August is like 70 some odd %. We're in one of the strongest months of the year for gold. So my thinking there is, because we're in one of the strongest months of the year, what we had occur both on a daily and on a weekly time frame were by the D point patterns. In fact, I'm going to move from this chart here for the moment and go over to my 8-panel charts, and then we can come back to this one here. But I really think it's the 8-panel charts that we want to take a look at. So the A to B equals CD on the weekly chart came right back to its breakout support level of 1683. Nice bullish hammer. Price is above the oscillator and change line. This suggests to me that price wants to move higher. This is gold. Higher to where? Well, I'd go back to its prior high, the most recent high, back in the 1900 and change level. What I like seeing take place right now today and hopefully tomorrow, it would make my decision about 50% easier, is that there's the potential for a TD9 count. Today, there is no TD9 count. In order for there to be a TD9 count today, Brent, so this is actually pretty cool. Price would have to close above 1821.90. We're at 1811.80 right now. So chances are that's not going to happen. So tomorrow when we take a look at, or tonight when we take a look at my charts out here, there will not be an active TD9 count for gold, which is kind of what I prefer to see in the idea of price being able to move higher. But we do know price up against resistance. We'll take a look at that again when I go back to my other charts out here. So the weekly has a nice buy signal. The daily has a nice buy signal. It looks like it's going to negate its potential topping pattern that is out there. So that looks good. With regard to today's intraday activity, folks, if you just look at the upper right-hand chart, that's the 30-minute time frame chart. Where did the bottom form? Bar number 8. Why do we pay so much attention to those TD9 counts? Because this is the type of action that we typically see. Even if you look at the weekly time frame chart here for gold, so that's panel number 2 from the upper left. How did that bottom? TD9 count. How did it top? TD9 count. So any questions about these charts? And if we take any questions about these charts here, Brent?
I guess my other question that kind of ties into the gold itself is just your thoughts on it. It seems like some of the mining stocks themselves have not necessarily, their patterns don't really match. Typically they'll trade along with gold, but I don't necessarily see that this time. And your thoughts on that as well?
There are periods of time where we get a little bit of a disconnect. But if you go back and you really study the gold mining equity charts, they really are pretty well correlated. So what I would say that adds to the idea that we're at a bottom, Brent, let me pull up, is actually the chart for the XAU. So let me pull that up here. Give me a moment just to get to my indice charts. And I'll pull this over to the screen here. And so in the case of the XAU, this is also going to negate its TD9 count setup. So you've got that nice Rhodes momentum indicator signal. That was confirmed with that gap to the upside out here. That was the trading day of August 23rd. And so that bottoming pattern, really, it remains in place out here. And so the question, so I understand your question and that one possible scenario. Is the other possible scenario that really the mining stocks are communicating to us what gold and silver are going to do? Is this the leader out here? And so, we don't have the answer, but it could be. It absolutely could be. So what else? Now we're back here at the gold chart, and you can see the resistance that price has to undertake out here. So I think the real next question is, and this is the fly in the financial ointment. Let's say that what gold is communicating to us is it has not been able to bust out resistance, and the mining equities aren't performing as well as, like you've pointed out, as we'd like to see them. So is the other signal that we're getting ready for a leg to the downside? Is that one of your other thoughts, or is that your primary thought?
Yeah, potentially. I see the area that we're up to, and how it's going to handle that. So
Okay. So here is that fly, so to speak, and we're going to go back to we're going to go back to one of my other screens out here. These are the components of the U.S. dollar index. The euro making up the majority, I think it's 57%. Then the yen and the Great British pound, they're in the and the Canadian dollar, they're in the 10 to 13% range out here. But if we take a look at the U.S. dollar index, which is it's below the bottom of its daily profile, suggesting that price might pull back to 91.68. Today is going to become bar number 9 of a TD9 count. Now that says the U.S. dollar index could be bottoming today or tomorrow. And so the thought process, the hair on the back of your neck, Brent, I don't know if you have any, but I would understand why it's standing up a bit, and it would be because is the U.S. dollar index getting ready to make a bottom. It certainly has that type of configuration. It would be disingenuous of me to speak about TD9 counts, and most of these are tops that we take a look at today in the indices, and then just disregard this one. But Brent, I was looking at the charts earlier this morning. I was looking and saying, man, maybe the U.S. dollar index is going to create a TD9 count bottom, and gold's going to go make a TD9 count top. But that appears like that is not going to happen. So the question is, does the U.S. dollar make that bottom, or does this pattern fail? And I don't have the answer there. But this would be the area that probably is the most troublesome chart for us to take a look at with regard to gold or the mining equities. Does that make sense?
Yeah, then I guess if it were to do that and have some kind of bullish reversal, then you'd be looking for it, to go up to that oscillator and change line and test that, or
yes, it would be really the first place, and I don't have this up on the screen so you can't see it, but the answer to your question would be yes. If this was all we had as far as our tools, no profiles on this chart, then if it does make a bottom, the first target becomes that oscillator and change line. Because this happens to be trading below the bottom of its daily profile, old support, which we know it acted as support, can become resistance. So is it 92.91 or is it 92.59? It's probably somewhere right in between that level, as is where you would expect a bounce inside the U.S. dollar index if it does put in that bottom, today or tomorrow.
Okay, I have one other quick question, if you don't mind, when we come back.
Absolutely. Brent, we enjoy speaking to you and want to be able to answer every question, because if you've got a question, I guarantee you somebody listening has that same question. Steve Rhodes with TFNN. We'll be back in just a few.
Are you in the market for buying or selling real estate in the Bay Area, including the surrounding St. Petersburg, Tampa, and Clearwater markets? Tiger Real Estate LLC is a firm that has extensive experience in the Tampa Bay area. Whether you're looking to sell your current property for maximum value, or you're in the market for a second home or investment property, Tiger Realty has the experience across all areas of real estate in the Tampa Bay area to help buyers and sellers make the most informed decisions across all price levels. From the price you should be paying per square foot in certain up-and-coming areas to the type of cash flow investment properties are capable of creating, Tiger Real Estate can help you make the best decision when it comes to all areas of the market. Before you make one of the biggest decisions of your financial future, call Tiger Real Estate LLC today at 727-329-8322 or email us at tiger@tfnn.com. That's 727-329-8322. Call us today.
The technology around us is changing every day. With so much happening, it can seem impossible to keep up with all the information. David White's investment newsletter, The Technology Insider, is designed to give you all the information you need to understand the technology that shapes today's markets and tomorrow's future. David White has made his living staying on the cutting edge of technology. His weekly newsletter will give you specific recommendations for value tech stocks, as well as entry prices, target prices, and stops to set for each trade. Dave delivers his weekly newsletters every Friday with updates throughout the week. You can get the Technology Insider at TFNN.com for only $37.50. Sign up for David's newsletter, The Technology Insider, and get an inside look at everything the technology sector has to offer. Try it risk-free today with our 30-day money-back guarantee. TFNN, educating investors.
Biotech is booming, but for how long? Whether you think the biotech bull has room to run or has run its course, trade LABU or LABD. Direction's daily S&P Biotech 3 times bull and bear ETFs. Visit directioninvestments.com/biotech today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV.
Welcome back, folks. We got the Dow up 107, S&P's up 9, NASDAQ is down 11. We're going back out to Martinez, California. We're speaking with Brent. So, Brent, any other questions about gold or the U.S. dollar before we shift gears?
No, that was great, Steve. I really appreciate that. It was very helpful.
Okay, excellent.
And then my follow-up question, different area, but I just observed that, and I'm not sure if it will hold or not, but the VIX was up with the S&P and the market's up. I just was hoping you could take a look at that and get your thoughts on it.
So, sure. So my thoughts on that, not necessarily with regard to today, if you just give me a minute, let me try, is really this chart here. And this chart here is the weekly time frame chart, which in essence is kind of is showing you the same, in essence, thing that you're asking a question about, which is this, folks. And here's where, and most folks that listen to the show think I must be like a perma bull or something like that. And that's not the case. I think the markets communicate to us what they're signaling. Sometimes they decide to do something else. But here what I'm showing. So we know that we're coming into the weakest month of the year. For the last 50 years, the Dow was only closed above the close of August 37% of the time. So we've got a 63% chance. That's a pretty decent odd out here. A 63% chance that September's going to close lower. So then when we look at larger patterns that are out here, this shows you the rising bottom spot volatility index on a weekly basis. And what I've got out here is the weekly chart for the S&P 500. So now this itself, you can't use as a timing mechanism. But when we take a look at what's going on in the equity markets, the equity futures markets, many of the indices, some of the sectors inside the S&P 500, we're really close to TD9 count top, should form between, have either formed already or could form by tomorrow. So we do have a valid topping signal that's in place for many of the indices that goes along with this, and we're in the weakest month of the year. If there's going to be some type of move lower, one would think it's going to begin early part of next week out there. And so I do pay attention to that spot volatility, rising spot volatility index. I'm trying to put it together with maybe a little bit of a larger picture where we get our typical pullback into the October type time frame. Is it okay if we just look at this, or do you need me to go back to the daily chart?
No, that's great. I think there's a little caution is in order, that's all.
Yeah. Well, all the signals are here. then the question then becomes, are there levels of support that are beginning to fail? And so before your call, that in essence was where we're at. So let's just stay with this because this is something that's going through everybody's mind. And so let me just change these screens here. And now we're going to go take a look at a 30-minute set of charts out here. And as we take a look at the ES, the NQ, the Dow, and the Russell 2000, what we'll first notice or should notice is that the NQ has closed below its TD9 breakout level, 15,609. Now, it is also forming bar number 8, folks, so don't go short here. Even though it's broken a key level of support, and it may be the first indication that a top has begun, what you'd want to do is wait for the TD9 count bottom to form and see where price moves up to. Odds favor, as Brent would point out, he'd say, hey, Steve-O, that's an easy one. Once that TD9 count bottom forms, it's going to bounce up to its oscillator and change line. And Brent would say, hey, and it's also going to do that because it changed colors out here. So I'd say absolutely. So the NQ has given us a signal. That actually goes along with the topping signal that formed in Apple yesterday. Apple generated a bearish shooting star candle. So it's got a top in place, but it has not closed below its oscillator and change line, one of the key levels. If we look at the ES Mini, I don't have a topping pattern other than price getting back to a prior level of resistance. That resistance was the TD9 breakdown area. So that can be a top, but it's not a top like I've got an A to B equals CD or what have you. But here the ES Mini would have to close below 45.18. Its breakout level to give us that first potential signal. There is a Rhodes Momentum Indicator signal inside the Dow. This suggests that price is going to go target 35,347. That's a lever to watch, folks, out there. And inside the Russell 2000, it has a short-term, a 30-minute TD9 break top out here, and that says watch 2287, even 2283.40. If those levels fail, Brent, then that could be the signal that, in fact, the top is in. But what we really then want to do is put that short-term stuff together with the longer-term stuff. And now longer-term, I'm just simply going to a daily chart. And on that daily chart, folks, that's where these green oscillator and change lines really are key. Now, you can see down below, the Dow is already below it. So it already has taken care of that work for us. But that's not the case right now inside the ES. That is not the case right now inside the NQ, and that certainly is not the case inside of the Russell 2000. So those are levels, Brent, that we would want to see price close below to then signal to us that, okay, where is price headed to? And where that price would be headed to takes us back to those TAS market profiles. And those become the next levels of area where we would, if there is some type of top out here, where we'd be watching for the battles to unfold. And in this case here, the ES and the NQ, they're well above. The NQ is really well above the top of its profile. But nonetheless, those become the price targets to the downside. 15,141 in the NQ and 44.98 in the ES. What additional info can I provide, Brent?
I don't think there's much else we could do, Steve. It's about as thorough as you can get, and I really appreciate it. And again, I certainly appreciate taking extra time to go over all that. It was very helpful.
Okay, so I want to ask a question. Of course, they say don't ask a question that you don't know the answer to because you might not like the answer. But based upon all that information, what's your thoughts? What are your thoughts? What's your instinctive thought at this stage here? Let's say based upon the topping signals and everything we're looking at. Anything that I've added that has changed your thoughts or agrees with your thoughts or?
I'm just keeping a close eye on things. I just think we've had a long run here. We, like you said, the weakness that is pretty typical for the month we're in now. There's enough things that are nothing, really blatant sticking out yet, but I think there's enough, potential early warning signs that we need to definitely be keeping an eye on it. Not going to be, taking my eyes off for too long. I want to keep a close eye on it. Not going to get overly, paranoid about it, but I'm definitely watching it.
Sure. The setup is here, or it's nearly upon us. So we can see the storm. It's like a hurricane, coming. We can see it. The question is, is this thing going to, is this thing going to top out here? So the markets are giving us the best signals that is a potential, and you're exactly right. We just simply really need to keep a close eye on it. So, hey, Brent, always great to speak to you. I'll look forward to having a cup of coffee with you tomorrow at 5 your time, 8 my time, and I've got to get a newsletter out. That means I've got to be up at Brent's time just to be able to get all that done.
Steve. Thank you so much. You just have a great rest of your weekend, a great weekend.
You bet. Thanks for calling. Always good to speak to Brent. Now, folks, the chart that is up on the screen right now is the chart for the Dow equity future contract. It is my synthetic version so that I can go back and get all these profiles out here. So let's say scenario one is the market does sell off, its typical seasonal sell-off. Where would price head to? In the Dow equity future contract, the key levels to be watching are going to be 34,949. That's the bottom of the daily profile. I would say the real key area is going to be 34,392. That is the bottom of the weekly profile, which has been most certainly since the March blowout here, the buy the dip area. So 34,392. That would likely be the price target to the downside if sellers can get traction. It should take place between now and Tuesday.
Sharpening your skills as an investor is like getting better at playing a musical instrument. You have to practice, sure, but you also need excellent instruction from experts. At TFNN, you'll get advice and guidance from the authority in technical market analysis. And it's not just dry, tedious text either. TFNN airs live financial content streamed live on TFNN.com and TFNN's YouTube channel with Tiger TV, live every market day from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern, for free. Each host is an experienced trader and gives their take on the market while taking calls and questions live from around the world. From the moment the market opens until the closing bell sounds, Tiger TV has 8 different shows with expert hosts to help you make the right moves with your money. Watch online at TFNN.com or on TFNN's YouTube channel and become the investor you were born to be. TFNN, educating investors.
Markets can rise and fall like the tides. Subscribe to Basil Chapman's newsletter, The Opening Call, and you too can ride the wave. Basil Chapman is an authority in technical analysis. His Chapman Wave trading system has been helping traders identify trends and capitalize on momentum in the markets since 1984. TFNN invites you to test Basil's proprietary Chapman Wave trading methodology with a monthly subscription to the Opening Call newsletter for only $149. Your subscription to the Opening Call comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee, as well as daily market updates on key indexes, stocks, and commodities. Ride the wave! Sign up for the Opening Call risk-free today.
Are you looking for a secured investment which pays you on a monthly basis? The Tiger First Mortgage Program may be the program for you. The best rate on a 5-year CD in the country right now, according to Bankrate.com, is paying 1% per year or $1,000 per $100,000 invested. The Tiger First Mortgage Program pays 7% per year, paid monthly, on secured, high-value buildable properties in St. Petersburg, Florida. The investment is for 4 years, paying 7% per year or $7,000 per $100,000 invested. Your investment is secured by high-value real estate in St. Petersburg, Florida. Your investment can be anywhere from $100,000 to $500,000. Do you want to make $1,000 per year on $100,000 invested or $7,000 per year on a secured Tiger First mortgage? The Tiger First Mortgage Program may be just the program for you. The Tiger First Mortgage Program pays 7% per year, paid monthly. For more information, you can call 877-518-9190. That's 877-518-9190.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV.
Welcome back, folks. So we just got about 2 minutes left here. Let's be quick. Rich in Oregon says, do you see an entry point into Marathon Oil at this time? So this is going to be complicated. Rich. Here, if you take a look at light sweet crude, right now it's trading above the top of its daily profile, 69.39, and maybe forming an A to B equals CD to the upside. 75.02 would become the price target. 72.36 is really the next line of resistance out there. But the question is, and this is what I don't know, and you've got to go back and take a look at it. I don't have enough time, but does Marathon Oil basically correlate to the directional price of light sweet crude? So even though we've got that A to B equals CD to the upside, today is going to become bar number 8. Now, we know that when tops form with the TD9 count pattern, it's going to be on bars 8, 9, the bar following 9. So it may not be until Tuesday when we get light sweet crude that tops. But I would hesitate, if there is that directional correlation, to suggest that you get into that trade while light sweet crude is in bar number 8 of a TD9 count. So I just want to be able to put that out there. With regard to Marathon Oil, if in fact there is an A to B equals CD to the upside that is forming, and that's going to take Marathon Oil higher, well, then the buy point was you're basically in it right now, because price formed a TD9 count top, price pulls back to the TD9 breakout support level of 1087. Now, you don't get into the clear until price closes above 1271. I don't know which way to go with this, Rich. I'm long, personally, light sweet crude, and am trying to assess, when to jettison that position, or if I should jettison that position out here. So with regard to Marathon Oil, here's what the heck was I looking at before? Whoa. This is Marathon Oil, and shows me a different setup. Man, I don't know what I was looking at before. Here's, you've got a nice bottom pattern. Rhodes momentum. It's really the same thing. It really is the same thing. If you're looking for what the buy would have been this morning at about 11:43 out here. But I'm going to just suggest, because of the way light sweet crude is trading, that you just sit tight on that one. Okay, Rich? Hey, thanks for writing in. Folks, thanks so much for being here. Again, tune in tomorrow, live if you'd like, between 8 and 9 a.m. Of course, that show will be replayed between 1 and 2. Have a fantastic weekend if I don't see you before then, and we'll certainly see you back on Tuesday. Take care, folks. Be safe.